Alright, welcome back to the channel and thank you for tuning in to Johnny's Motorized Bicycle. So, what we got going on today?
Gee, Ray, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
No, today you're going to do something different. What you're going to do is you're going to hit the like button, okay? Because because I know you haven't been. And it's okay, I'm not upset, you know. I'm more disappointed, really, than anything. I mean, I don't really know you, and you know me more than I know you because I let you into my room. I mean, you're in here right now with me. And the fact that you can't just go click and hit that like button, I mean, it kind of hurts. You know, it just really hurts. So, yeah, now that we have the drama out of the way, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, because who doesn't want to see more of this insanity? If you could, drop me a line down in the comments and continue the comments. Go over to Johnny's Motorized Bicycles Facebook group, link in the description. I just started a new chat so that we could all get together and like have quicker answers to questions if someone posts something. So there's a lot of people in the chat. It's kind of like a Discord in a way, but you know, chat, sure. So cool, that's all out of the way. So we have been insanely hectic around here at Johnny's Motorized Bicycles, doing Johnny's Motorized Bicycles things. Yeah, who would have thunk it? We're doing motorized bicycle stuff over here at Johnny's Motorized Bicycles. So, as you know, I took you on one test ride when it was a test ride on the cameras, my new cameras. So, you saw my new bike. That was the only video you've seen as of me recording this. By now, you have already seen a bunch of them. But you didn't see is the day I was riding it, and it didn't go well. So I was coming down a hill right by my house, and I over-revved the snot out of it. That would have normally been totally fine if it wasn't this motor. You know, it's a bigger displacement, and I definitely did not build it to do high revving. So, you know, my own fault. You know, live, learn, problemo, my problemo. So it never ran right. As soon as I got to the bottom of the hill, it still had power, but it did seem slightly down, and it was going rah, 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 rah. Man, I don't know. That probably happened 4 days after me finished building it and getting it on the road. And then I rode it for about a month while it was doing that, and then it didn't go well. So I wasn't recording because it was getting late in the day, and I was on my way to the mailbox. And I was probably doing about 40, and I was just past a semi and this, that, and the other, like a truck, and there was no shoulder. The reason I passed is because there was no shoulder, and I wanted to get away from him. So I was in front of him, and my rear wheel locked up. Now I thought it was the chain bunched up, but I don't think it was. I got the wheel unfrozen after I almost died. 40 miles an hour with your rear wheel locking up, it is scary, especially when you know there is a semi-truck quickly approaching from the rear. So, you know, everyone slammed the brakes, swerved around me. I lived. I'm telling you the story today. So I got back on it, of course. I wasn't close to home, had to keep riding, so I kept riding. This time I was going slower, and I was only doing maybe 20, happened again. I still thought it was maybe the chain bunching up because I didn't think it was the motor necessarily, but the motor shut right up when it happened, you know, like everything locked up. So I couldn't tell what it was. I went backwards and the motor finally broke loose. The chain was definitely stretched now. It had a lot more slack in it. So that was definitely from the wheels just locking up, me being heavy, all the weight with me in the bike and bags and stuff. It definitely just stretched it with that quick sudden stop. Now there's way more slack in it, so I was riding it again because I'm still not near home, and I still got to pick the stuff up from the mailbox, so I still got to carry more weight on the bike. Of course, why not? Risk your life even more for stuff. So I got there going really slow, white knuckling it, scared out of my gourd, to be honest with you, and made it there, and I was basically just cracking throttle, like I mean just off idle. And I got home and this, that, and the other. Well, it happened one more time when I was going really slow, but it happened just as I hit a bump, and I forget now, I think I was letting out the clutch, and then it happened. Like, it was the way I was doing a combination of things with the bump and everything and throwing me all, I couldn't tell what it was again. But every time I started to back up, the motor was definitely a little bit rougher sounding. So I'm assuming there's something not good inside of here. So we're gonna find out. As you know, this is the CDH 110, so it's 110cc by American Standards, 85cc, 52mm piston, 52mm bore, iron sleeve. Really nice motor, super stout. My very first time ever dealing with it, and I broke it immediately. of course. But I'm not giving up on it. I already bought a new top end, piston rings, and whatchamacallit. I kind of have, whatchamacallit, meaning the cylinder. I have a feeling I may have broken a ring or something to do with that. There is something unhappy inside here. Let's hope it's nothing catastrophic. No matter what, even if it is, I have a whole new top end, and if anything catastrophic in the bottom, basically be a bearing, I could just replace it. Now, something super duper cool that I splurged on, this digital ultrasonic cleaner. It's got up temp, down temp. Basically, you can warm or, well, you can't cool it, but you can warm up the whatever solution that's in here. And it's got the timer. It goes up to 30 minutes, I believe. So, you know, that's cool. What is an ultrasonic cleaner? Well, I guess that's a good question. I assumed you knew. My bad. Basically what it is, it's something that cavitates water at, like, I think it's 40 hertz. And it basically makes microscopic air bubbles or something like that, that just cleans everything at a microscopic level. So, like the cylinder head, because it gets hot, cold, and then it gets all this crud on it. Here, like for instance, see here? Like if I get some solution, that will probably come off. But if I just take this and throw it right in there and give it 30-minute bath on, I got some soaps in there, just water, and I'll use the heat and then some different types of soaps to get it nice and clean. If I put that in there, it will come out super duper clean, supposedly. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna strip this bad boy down completely. We are going to clean everything. We're gonna see what is going on the inside and why it decided to, like, if I put this, I just took it off my bike 2 days ago. If I put it back on the bike, it starts right up. No problem, no hesitation, starts right up. Not an issue. But always one of the studs comes out instead of just the nut coming off. Isn't that always the way? Look, see, stud came out instead of the nut. Whatevs. But, oh dang it. It's definitely not right, because the way, you know, when I first started using the thing, it was like butter smooth, really nice. Man, it is clean in there. I'll show you in a minute. But with that, it sounds like a diesel engine or a big block with a cam in it. It sounds ridiculous. And it also, it rides like that. When you're like slowing down, it really goes, bucks really bad. So instead of taking a chance of breaking it worse than it already is, I just took it off. I got tweaker I can ride. I'm just gonna dismantle it and find out what's going on. So once I know more, you'll know more. So I turn you back on so you can see what exactly is going on here. So I just got down to taking the head off. First thing I noticed, where was it, like this, I believe? But if you look closely, I don't know if you could pick it up. Can you see those dings? They were not there. So I'm gonna say there's definitely something went through the cylinder, because it shouldn't be like this. And even if the piston hits it, it shouldn't be a bunch of dings. It should just be like an area folded up, not a whole bunch of dings. When you look in the top of the head, over here where something definitely hit it. For the most part, she's pretty clean, you know, for a dirty girl. Cylinder looks good. All the rings look good. This has 3 rings and they all look fine. Piston looks fine, I guess. Got a little notch, not a notch, but like something scuffed it right there for sure. That's kind of upsetting, because I was definitely expecting to see carnage, if I'm being 100% honest with you. In fact, I kind of want it to. It would clarify everything and make this job a whole lot easier right now. Say, oh, that's the problem. But I am not getting that at the present moment. At the present moment, I'm getting, doesn't look bad. Now, just because there's not any major damage going on in the top, doesn't mean there's not something going on in the bottom. Because let's remember, I definitely saw dings in the gasket where it hung over. I don't see any dings in the piston though. But by the looks of the piston, you can see this transfer is much more active than this transfer. I'm gonna have to look over this whole case for cracks, things like that, because there's gotta be something wrong somewhere. You know what I mean? Started acting funny the moment I got to the bottom of the hill, because I revved it out farther than I ever had before. By that point, I had already run, man, I think 2 tanks through it, maybe 3 tanks, so that's like 4 or 6 gallons at least, something like that. So I'd be remiss to say it wasn't broken in yet. I definitely think it was broken in. All right, I got it open. There is grease in here. I mean, fortunately, kind of unfortunately, I don't see any like big chunks of metal. And I say unfortunately because you'd be like, aha, but I don't have that. But what I do have, tons of little pieces of stuff. What it is exactly, I don't know. It's all over. Was it just stuff left over from the casting. I mean, I thought I cleaned it out, but that's still, in my eyes, not gonna say, well, that's why it did that. Now on this side, look at the coloration of that bearing. Can you see it? It's copper colored like this. That's burnt metal. That got really hot. Just tons of sludge. I have no idea, but this bearing got hot. I mean, it's still butter smooth. I feel no nicks. Same thing with this one. I gotta knock it off of there. I mean, the crank is, you know, up and down, feels good. There's always a little bit of play, but that's just how they are. Like, it will wiggle in your hand a little, but this is not much, that's for sure. And up and down, I don't feel any. And mind you, this has only been a month of running it, but no matter what, she's all broken down. We're gonna clean her up. I'm gonna get like the majority of the big stuff off, and then I'm gonna throw it in my, whatchamacallit, my ultrasonic cleaner. Kind of excited about it, not gonna lie. I wanna see how well it does at getting the grit and grime off of this stuff. Well guys, I'm gonna be completely honest. I have no idea. And I definitely don't know why it was running so... That doesn't make any sense. But we gotta start with cleaning it completely. And once it's all clean, I can start reassembling, get my numbers again, double check everything, and just take it step by step and take it from there. I mean, what else can you do? I just wanted to show you guys real quick. So I got it set for 65 degrees. This is in Celsius. So it's 65 degrees Celsius, which is about 150 degrees Fahrenheit roughly. And I got it for a 30-minute timer. So this is the highest I've had the temperature. I want to see how it does. I have in here, you can see I got the crank and the cylinder, and on the bottom the piston's there. The piston had all that carbon on it and whatnot. Now inside of the water is a bunch of different types of soaps. I got a little Fabuloso, some dish soap, Palmolive, and what I think is going to be the ticket for all the grit and grime. I got a little Tide. Now, I put in the other Palmolive and the Fabuloso just because they're both soaps. They're both grease cutting, but as you can tell, it's running, and you can hear how loud it is. It's not exactly quiet, but I don't have the basket in for the smaller stuff. It comes with a basket. You can just set the basket in. Since I'm doing the larger stuff, the one I bought was it was like $75 or $80. It was the biggest one for under $100 that I could find, where I knew I could fit the two halves of the motor together in it. So yeah, it's going to take a little bit more time to do a whole motor, but I think in the long run it's going to be a good thing. I didn't want to get a huge one. Honestly, I thought this one was going to be much larger than it is. It's hard to tell on the pictures. Did a great job on the nuts and bolts yesterday, so we'll see how it does on this stuff. I am wiping off, like I said, the majority of the big grease and grime because I don't want to just contaminate the water constantly. The biggest thing I wanted to see how it does is the cylinder head. I want to see how it does on getting the fins, because I can't get in there on the fins unless I use like a whole bunch of extra stuff, and it's so time consuming to get it clean, and you still can't get it really clean, at least not here, without having a proper, slop sink and stuff. So I'm really excited to try this and see how it works. And you'll see how it works too. But it is pretty loud, right? It's kind of annoying. When I go to work and I find somebody that's going to be throwing out a couch, I am probably going to take the cushions so I can gut them and get the foam. And what I'm thinking about doing is just carrying some foam, storing it up here, and then when I'm using this, I'll glue them together and I'll just put a piece of foam right here. Because if you just putting my pillow there, it got so much quieter. And it's still completely open here. Even just my hand blocking it a little bit, you can hear a difference in sound. I don't know if you can on the camera, but no pillow, pillow, no pillow, pillow. So if I get a piece of foam that will fit this entire thing and it fits like real tight up against it, it's not bad. Seems to be doing pretty good. I'm pretty excited. So, all right, and my computer is downloading. Let's see how we're looking. 3.81 gigabytes out of 5.88 gigabytes. What I'm downloading is the new software for my phone. My old phone, that will be my new phone. It's a iPhone XS Max. Basically just super nice. And the thing is what I want to do with that is I really like working on the Apple products when it comes to editing. You guys already know I do all my stuff on my phone. So I recently got myself an iPad. I've been trying to do the edits on that, but if I had my Apple phone again, I could link them both. They'll work off the same stuff, the iOS, and that means whatever I'm working on that, I could just transfer it right to my phone, and if I'm at work on a long ride, I can keep editing in the truck on my phone, and I'm not gonna bring my iPad with me. And same thing with the computer. I got myself a computer. It was given to me from a customer. I gotta go through it, do a master reset, and reconfigure it, whatnot. I went and bought a wireless keyboard and mouse to link to it and stuff, and I just gotta get that going. I haven't really messed with it. Tried to plug it in, it does turn on, but it's a black screen, so I gotta figure that out. But that will let me run my phone, computer, and iPad all together. So if I'm sitting on the bed and I just wanna mess with my iPad and edit, I can. If I'm at work, I can use my phone. If I'm sitting here and I really want to get technical, and I can use the computer, and that will just keep everything linked. If I start something on my phone, I have to finish it on my phone. If I start something on the iPad, I have to finish it on the iPad, which means I can't do it on a long, like, and if I have an hour or 2 hour ride to the next house at my job, I'm just sitting there watching YouTube videos instead of editing my own videos. So I think having all the Apple products, because it works so much better with the Vilo, the VLO, the editing software that I use. It's just an app software. It's an app. It works really good though. And the last video I put up where I looked into the camera and smiled and had a little twinkle, and then I had speed up and slow downs on the editing, was all done on my iPad, because it works better for editing than my phone does. My phone, I can't do slow downs, I can't do speed ups. It just messes it all up audio wise, and even becomes real glitchy. So let's get this all fixed up, ready to go. But for now, we're almost done downloading the software for the phone, and hopefully we'll have the phone. I'm just excited. I'm happy that I can finally get that going, and it's gonna be working. So, all right, let's see how this stuff comes out in a little bit. I am putting the motor back together. I could not find an aha moment, and that's upsetting. But the reason it locked up on me, I'm pretty positive, was the chain got stretched and it just locked up inside the motor, which you would think, oh, I guess I do, yeah. You would think that would break, but yeah, look at that. This is the first time I actually looked at it. I didn't look at it because I didn't think about it. It had to be. Can you see in there? So you see there, 2 lines, and then up here, 2 lines. So the chain comes in around here. What happens is it gets bunched up and it hits this. So the chain just gets banged into that. And the reason you see the 2 lines, which is actually pretty deep, now that I'm looking at it. Yeah, they are pretty deep. Any chain has, 2 sides to it. So those are the sides of the chain, on top and bottom. On top is just as deep. I can't believe it didn't crack the case. Surprised it didn't crack the case. You would think it would have, but I'm not complaining that it didn't, that's for sure. Okay, so I am sweating my butt off, so pardon my man boobs. I don't like being in a guinea tee when I'm on camera. Just it doesn't fit me right, and it looks, you don't care, do you? No, okay, whatever. There was 10 seconds of your life you're not getting back, and probably 20 seconds you probably fast forward because you hit it 4 times. Okay, anyway, like I said, there was no aha moment. So I rechecked all my numbers from what they should have been, okay? So the numbers that I had originally given you was 140 intake, 114 transfers, and a 162 exhaust. They were really a 144 intake, which I left alone. When I looked, I always measure one side of the transfers. This time I made sure I put the ring in and got it lined, because something just isn't right. So I had almost a 4-degree difference from left to right, because I noticed when I took the piston out, there was so much carbon built up on the one side of the piston and not that much on the other side. So what that would mean to me is one side is flowing way better and cleaning the piston off, and the other one is not getting as much clean, and the carbon sticking to it because the combustion is just building up on it. So I equaled them off. I put the ring in, scribed it with my scribe, and then I equaled it all up. We now have, from a 114, we now have a 120 transfer. That's perfect for me, what I want to do. So I'm very happy. That's 6 degrees different. That's going to make a difference. I really have a good feeling about that. The exhaust, it is now a 164. I went up 4 degrees. Our blowdown went down to 22. Lost 2 degrees of blowdown. Now, it's not huge differences, minor increments. The original numbers were not accurate that I had given you the first time. So I double checked. I probably did it all late night. I mean, we'll see in the video. I didn't edit the video that I'm talking about right now, so I really don't remember. But now the new numbers I gave you 100% are accurate. But this also has told me I need to buy a degree wheel, so I gotta stop playing around with this BS, because like I made this when I didn't have no monies. Not that I have any money now, but I'm not broke now. So we can get ourselves a new wheel. So I'm gonna get the motor back together. I'm very happy with these numbers. The only thing I gotta do is I gotta polish the exhaust. I didn't do that yet. I wanted to make sure everything else was a-okay. Like I already have, like it's already pulls really good at the bottom. So I'm really hoping I don't mess that up with what I just did and lose any of that. What I'm hoping is I gain a little more top end. Not that it needs to go faster, but I wouldn't mind hearing it rev up a little bit more. So we'll see. All right, just real quick, I wanted to show you, I'm putting the motor back together. It's a new day. I let the case dry overnight, not because I'm a professional. I wanted to make sure it's sealed right. It's because I was just tired and it was late at night. It's pretty late in the day already. I kind of slept in. It's Sunday, so yay, I got to sleep in. Anyway, so we're back at it today. But I wanted to show you. Now, these motors got a lot of flack from a lot of, I'm not going to say any one person. There was a lot of people that had gotten these motors and did nothing but talk a lot of smack about them. And then a couple of them, you know, did some work to them to get some power out of them. And it's 100% possible. They make really nice power, fairly reliable as far as I could see. Me having it apart again doesn't show its reliability. It shows to my stupidity in my opinion, but everyone has their own choices to make on that. All right, let me get at this and stop jibber jabbering. All right, guys, so we are now outside. I've actually been out here for a couple minutes. The thing is I had completely didn't remember that my battery was dead on my GoPro. So when I came out, the GoPro was not staying on because it wasn't charged. So, needless to say, I continued to put the motor together and on until I needed to. Therefore, you guys are now on. Take a link out of this chain. This chain seems really long now. I feel like the wheel moved. Let me try that first. I want to move the wheel back. Wow, it moved a lot. So when the wheel jammed on me, the axle moved in the dropouts. It just moved a good 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 inch. It might not seem like a lot, but when it's talking about length of chain and droopiness, that's a lot. That's why the chain got so stretched out looking. Yeah, it's not even worth messing with out here. Let's take it off and let's just do it right. Okay, let's go bend this correctly. You want to come with me? Sure. Okay, so if I put this on the way I want, so that retracts like this, I need the bottom to bend over and then the top to bend back up. So first bend I got to do is this way. Now get an eyeball on that. See how it's bent? Zigzag. So I can bend a little bit after that. So that's about straight on the bike, but see how much farther over it is? And anything less I can do outside probably. So let's go outside. All right, guys, just real quick, I'm going to show you what we got going on here. Running, as you can see, and I'll probably regret doing this. I'm not going to do it. I want to wipe that grease right there, but I want to use a rag, and then before you know it, it sucks in there. And then, yeah, don't touch moving parts, children. I'm an idiot. I'm a trained idiot. Okay, so as you can see, it's running. It's also not doing that weird rock. So again, I have no idea what that was, but it is running smoother than in the beginning. It also is seeming a little lean. Now, I have the clutch cover off because I couldn't get it to start. Not actually with the start, you know, of getting it to go start up and run. I couldn't get it to turn the motor. The compression, I don't know what it is, guys, but the compression seems so much more serious on it for some reason. I'm not 100% sure. Like, I did change the port timing a wee bit. That being said, it does feel different, and it wasn't much difference, but like the port timing changed. But the difference in performance, big difference. But it seems lean, so I'm not really getting on it like that. But I could already feel the way it pulled was different by far. But with that being said, she's running. She sounds great. Snappy throttle, running great. Super duper happy with it. Everything seems to be great. The chain, I think the chain's a wee bit tight. I'm gonna actually loosen chain tensioner. Did I even show that to you? I don't think I did, but there you go. You could see it. I'll have to show you during the day. Another thing I did, because I just figured why not, because I don't use this because it doesn't really hold the weight of this bike up, even though that is the stock one. I had bought this when I first built the bike, and I put it on, and it seems to be okay. But like I said, it was really hard to get to start because it wouldn't actually turn the motor over. And like you saw when I was trying to put the chain on, the compression seems much higher. I really don't know what the reason. The only thing that could have changed the compression, I put one new ring in because I accidentally broke it because I'm an idiot. So I put one ring in. It's 3 rings. When I took it apart, there was nothing in this thing that was visibly messed up. There was no aha moment. As you know, there was no aha moment, and I was like, wow, I don't get it. But whatever I did fixed that whole rot problem, because it's running super smooth, real nice, and the compression's up again. So maybe there was something wrong. I know the port map I changed, very minimal, but it is, when you, even when you're talking a few degrees with where the degrees are at, so from 114 to 122, or was it 120? I think 122. That's a good difference, and you could feel it. You can definitely feel the difference in the way it pulls. But either way, guys, it's late. Battery's dying. I still got a couple more things to do here. So, as always, thanks for watching, guys. I'm really glad you. I'm sorry about the light. I'm glad you guys came along for this. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Tell your mom, tell your friends, tell everybody. Join the Facebook group, Johnny's Motorized Bicycles Facebook group, and I look forward to seeing you later. All right, guys. Peace.